quite unfortunate. I will not be crossing that at all. Today's camping adventure brings us to Percy Quin State Park, which is located just outside of Macomb, Mississippi. So I made it into the primitive campground area here of Percy Quin State Park. I was talking to the lady at the front entrance office. She said this campground area can hold up to 110 tents. And I believe every bit of it, because all that you see behind me, in front of me, over the hill that way, over the hill that way, down the lake is all primitive tent camping area. This is how a state park should have primitive tent camping. Now they have garbage cans where they come by and pick the garbage up. Some of the sites have picnic tables and fire pits and lantern posts to hang your lantern off of. Parking on the side of the road. Tons of shade. Right now it's about 2 o'clock and probably 90% of this campground, as far as you can see, is shaded. Now it looks like there's a bathhouse, or at least a restroom right there. So that's nice. Don't have to go across the dam of the lake here in front of us to go use the restroom. There's one here on site. Now I'm kind of scoping out the whole area, trying to find out where I'm going to put my tent at. I think I'm going to put it where I was just at, but I'm going to walk back this way just a little bit. I drove down here and I could only get so far because it was kind of muddy. And I'm in my car, so I didn't want to feel like getting stuck out here today. But I'm going to walk down here real quick and see if there's anything better. But yeah, all that you see, you can throw a tent up. Quite impressive. So this is one of the, I guess you say, typical sites here. Kind of get you an idea. Now they did some upgrades to this state park. I'm not sure if they did any upgrades to the primitive side, but that fire pit right there, it kind of looks a little bit new. So they got fire pit, pretty sturdy picnic table there. I've seen some picnic tables that I would not even sit on. And then you have a lantern there to hang a lantern off of. But this is probably the one that has probably the most sun out of it. They're fairly spaced apart. There's probably, between each one, there's, I don't know, I'd say 40, 60 feet in between them. So you're not right on top of your neighbors. And that's one thing that I appreciate. I asked the lady at the office, was there anybody down here? And she said, no, you're the only one. So I got pretty much this whole campsite to myself for now. One thing about Mississippi state parks is, as far as the basic primitive camping, you cannot reserve the spots. It's all first come, first serve. Well, like in this case, it's not a big deal because, you know, there's 100 spots. Some of these campsites or campgrounds, they may have only 6 or 8 sites. And if you're like me, I'll drive 4 or 5 hours to a campground, and I'd be a little upset if I drove 4 or 5 hours and it was full, and then I ended up having to rent an RV site next to RVs and campers and all that stuff. So it's kind of a good thing, but kind of a bad thing. But let's take a quick look here at the restroom facilities. Okay, not bad. Just your basics, toilet, sink. That's pretty cool. It's nice that they have working restrooms. Now the main campground is off that way, across the lake over there. That's where all the RVs, there's cabins, chalets. There's like a 10-room motel over there, and there's also a golf course here at this state park. So it is a pretty expansive area. I forgot how many acres this lake is, but it's massive too. Yeah, so all those, the chalet and the motel and all that stuff, you can reserve those, but it's kind of weird that you can't reserve campsites at Mississippi State Park, campgrounds. But anyways, yeah, I'm thinking we're going to go over here, somewhere in this area where there's nice shade, got a nice little view of the lake. Probably won't get too many people on boats in here because of the lily pads and all that, so I won't have to worry about them coming in and bothering me. But if you got a fishing pole, which I should have brought, you can go right here and go fishing right here at your campsite, so that's pretty cool too. There is signs that says beware of alligators, so I'm pretty sure there's probably an alligator or two in here somewhere. But yeah, I'm gonna get my tent set up and relax for a little bit. Yep, that's about a 6, maybe 7-foot alligator right there on that log, just sunning himself. They weren't kidding when they said there was alligators. So I got camp set up. Picked out a campsite that wasn't the first choice, but not my last choice, let's just say. The first one I wanted to go to was nicely shaded and away from everything, kind of in a little corner over here. But the fire pit was flat full of ashes, and I don't have a shovel. So there's that. Then the picnic table was not repaired yet. The boards were there, but they didn't have it fixed up yet. So anyways, here's my campsite. Right here on the edge of the lake. Zoom out, you can see a little better. Got the tent. I like how the it's kind of on a hillside, if you can kind of tell. My car is right up there, but they got it built up here, which is kind of convenient, because now I wanted to get to my cooler, I can just walk up to it. I don't have to bend over because it's right there. Same thing goes with all my other gear. Water, got some groceries and snacks in there, other camping and cooking gear in there, utensils and all that kind of jazz. Here's something I got here a while back that I've been kind of pleased with. A little hand broom, a little hand whisk broom with a dustpan. Works pretty good to get the dust and leaves out of my tent. So, and speaking of tent, same old backwoods bungalow I've been using for the last 4 or 5 years. Got set up with my Ozark Trail zipper cot. It's been going good for probably a year and a half now, maybe. Old basic Academy Magellan, however you want to say. I think that's a 40-degree bag. It's not supposed to get to probably upper 50s. No, excuse me, upper 40s tonight, maybe low 50s. So that'll be just perfect. Got the old, brought my old pillow from the house. And a little just kind of random camping gear stuff that's in there. I use that as like a little nightstand. Put my phone and wallet and things like that. Battery charger, things like that. A little duffel bag for clothes. It's going to be a 2-night trip, so I have brought the duffel bag. Usually I just throw my clothes in a Walmart bag and it works great. But yeah, anyways, same old Coleman stove. Yeah, it needs to be cleaned. Sure, somebody's going to remind me, clean your stove, Sean, clean your stove, Sean. Well, I don't eat off of that. I eat off of clean plates, so I don't know what the fuss is. But still running on the same propane bottle I've had for going on 2 years now, maybe. So fire pit's pretty good, but here's the problem. I didn't realize that once I got it done, somebody decided to dump all their trash from fishing. Looks like they had some worm boxes in there, which that's all right. I got some garbage bags and some gloves. I'll go ahead and clean that all out and, you know, do the right thing. It's silly that there's literally garbage cans every probably 100 feet on the road, if even that far, and you just dump your trash. But yeah, kind of regretting not bringing a fishing pole, because this would be a nice place to plop a seat down and wet a line. But yeah, I'm gonna make the best of it. It's gonna be a two-night trip. making a long weekend out of the deal. So I think I'm gonna go get my folding chair, find me a shady spot here by the lake. Got a really nice breeze going. It's beautiful weather right now. It's probably mid to upper 70s. Yeah, gonna relax for a couple minutes, get me something to drink, bag of chips or whatever, and then I'm gonna explore the rest of the primitive campground. So I'll get back with you when I go start exploring. So I'm just kind of roaming through the outskirts of the campground, looking for some fallen hardwood that I can burn. It's not all rotted up. Trying to stay away from pine. Pine burns and creates a lot of soot and smoke sometimes, and don't need all that. Not necessarily looking for a heat fire or anything like that. I'm just having a little ambiance fire tonight and see how it goes. So I haven't hit the mother load of firewood, but we'll just call it the mother-in-law of firewood. Here is I don't know what type of tree this is. It looks like a hardwood. It's been down for quite a while. Came off of this tree right here. Top of it broke off not too long ago, because it's still pretty solid, which is going to be great because I got the old Corona saw. I'm going to get that limb right there definitely, and maybe one or two of them ones off there, so I should have plenty of firewood to last me for my trip. Problem is, I got to haul it way through there, so it's going to be interesting. So I got a little bit of firewood there. That should last me at least through the night. Go ahead and chop that up here in a little bit. Got the fire pit cleaned out, threw on the old gloves. Literally all of it fit to one Walmart bag. Took me less than 3 minutes, so now I'm gonna go throw the trash can up here. Just makes me scratch my head why people gotta be so lazy. Or maybe it's just plain sorry. I don't know. Look out, Uncle Roger, I'm coming for you. Yeah, I know somebody's going to tell me, oh, that steak's too burnt. It's too crusty. Guess who doesn't care? But if I put it in front of you, you eat it. I'm going to enjoy it. Well, dinner turned out quite well. A little bit too much pepper on my eggs, but tomorrow's another day. Get these dirty pans cleaned up, and probably get the fire going here pretty soon. Process down a bunch of that wood. Got some big ones, some medium ones, and some little ones in there ready to go. So get me a fire going, prop my feet up, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the evening. Well, the sun's starting to set, so I figured I'd go ahead and start the fire. Getting a fire going, you don't need to make it harder than it needs to be. You just start with some small sticks. And what I do is I make a little V right there, as you can see. I have some larger ones. And I will put my fire starter here in the middle, light it up, bring my small kindling, I guess you'd say, bring it over. Once it gets going, then you add some bigger sticks, and then once the flames get over the bigger sticks, you can just go add more and more until you get up to your larger stuff. Now, I'm not going to do any fancy fire starters. I just have literally the paper towels from dinner. Alright, so instead of putting them in the garbage can, and I'm just going to light them up here. Alright, it's not that hard. Light them up. Once it gets going a little bit, go ahead and bring the fire kindling over that. And it won't take long, as long as it's good and dry. As you can see, it's already taken off. Well, just about 8 o'clock. The sun is just about done for the day. Got a little fire going. Got a can of sliced peaches for dessert. Enjoying those. Think I'm gonna sit here and relax, enjoy the rest of my evening, listen to the frogs and crickets. And then I'm probably gonna call it a night. Well, good morning. Well, I should say mid-morning. I got up about 5:30 this morning and it was still dark out, so I just rolled back over. And next thing you know, it was 10 o'clock in the morning, so I have not slept that long in quite a while. Slept okay, tossed and turned for a little bit, but it'll be okay. These cool, interesting little plants I found here. I thought they were fake, but they're actually real. There's one there, and one right there, right here on this tree. If you know what those are, let me know in the comment section below. Never seen plants like that, but so the fire burnt down pretty good last night. I have a couple of little pieces left in there. I still got some firewood, so I'm gonna have another fire tonight. Too late for breakfast, and usually I'd say it's too late for coffee, but right now I'm just thirsty, so I'm gonna chug down a Yoo-hoo. I'm gonna run into town this morning, get a couple little things I forgot, a couple of things that I want in town. So after that, we're gonna go kind of give a little tour of the campground, I do believe, with a park here, see what there is to offer, and might get on that hiking trail and see what we can do. It's like a 6 or 7 mile hiking trail. I don't plan on doing the whole thing, maybe part of it, turn back around, because it just makes a big loop around the park, and I don't want to walk all the way around for the RV stuff, so I may just catch the trail back on that side and walk on the back side of the lake, go maybe about halfway or so, and turn back around, come back, see what happens. So I'm gonna enjoy my my Yoo-hoo. Then I'll go into town. I guess I'm gonna just get some lunch there. Make an easy lunch today, so we'll see what happens today. So I didn't go into town, decided not to, nothing I really need. And I was gonna just make lunch here at camp. I got the Mountain House chicken and dumplings I'm gonna try out. Just put the water in there, I'm gonna zip it up. And while that's kind of cooking, I guess you'd say, I'm gonna get my little day pack, get it ready, and throw some water, some snacks and stuff like that in there. And I'm gonna try the old hiking trail out. So let's see how this goes. So the old chicken and dumplings turned out better than I expected it to be. Not Mama's chicken and dumplings, but pretty good. I thought I was gonna have to add a little bit of salt to it at first, but turned out okay. Wasn't completely bland, wasn't full of flavor, but for freeze-dried chicken and dumplings, it's pretty good. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the nature trail here, hiking trail. It goes around the back side of the lake. It's across from where we're camping at. And all trails shows it being like 6 miles, but that's including the loop around the campground with the RV park and the lodge and all that stuff that I showed you just previously. So what I was going to do is just go probably about halfway, turn around and go back to the car. Well, I was talking to a gentleman there at the entrance about some disc golf and some other cool things. We were just shooting a breeze for a little bit. Pretty nice old gentleman. And he said that the bridge is out, and like we just saw there, that sign says 1.5 miles the bridge is out. So looks like we're going to go in about 1.5 miles and then turn around and come back out. So we'll get 3 miles hiking in today, I guess. And let's see what we can get into today. Got a little deck here overlooking one of these little swampy areas. But if you stay here long enough, you might see a snake or 3. But looks like there's a little bridge we're going to cross. A cool looking tree here. Huh. I don't know what kind of a tree that is. Looks like an elm. I may be wrong. This tree's hollowed out in the middle, all the way to the bottom. Huh. That's pretty cool. So that's probably why they threw this patio up here. It's been here for a while, but yeah. And it said to follow the orange blazes. So here's orange blaze. The trail tees off. I'm not sure where it goes to the right, but I'm gonna go to the left. I'm gonna follow the orange blazes like the signs say, and cross over this bridge here through the swamp. Let's see if we can see some stuff here. This little boardwalk goes quite a long ways, looks like. Right off there, you can see remnants of the old boardwalk. Don't tell how long that one's been there. Figured there'd be more bugs out here, but it's a nice breeze. It's in like the mid-70s right now, so it's beautiful weather for taking a hike. There's some fish. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. I don't know if you'll be able to see them or not. Right in there. Might be able to see them swimming around. Pretty cool little boardwalk here. Another one of those remnants of the past. Another one of those little patio areas. Just kind of left there to rot away. It's okay. Watch your step. A couple of rotten boards out here. Something just moved over there pretty big. Definitely cool area here. You can look for the woods there. Right there. Follow my finger around. There's another old boardwalk. I don't think we're going to walk on that one, but we're going to find out here very shortly, I guess. So that's probably the old way. I don't know. This is kind of cool. I like seeing the old pieces of these older state parks. This park was one of the original state parks that was built in the 1930s and 40s. So there's no telling how old some of this stuff is. You can tell they got the orange blazes there. And there's no orange blazes there, so they probably don't want you to go on that way, but I don't know. It's not blocked off. I don't know. We'll see. So we're going to continue on down through the woods here. Let's get some miles on the shoes. That is a good sized water moccasin. So you gotta be careful out here and where you're stepping. If you don't know the difference between a water moccasin and a water snake, definitely want to be careful. He went up underneath the bridge here, so. But water moccasins will have a mask over their eyes. If you look at their eyes, there'll be a little black slice piece of skin coloration over their eyes. And then if you're looking at them from above, their eyes will be shielded, or a hood, so you can't see their eyes if you're looking from above them, let's just say. Now water snakes, which are non-venomous, you can see their eyes from on top of them, and they have vertical stripes on their jaw, so it looks like they got lines running across their mouth, let's just say that. So that was definitely a water moccasin. That is actually the first snake I've seen all year. So it looks like the trail is kind of coming out of that swampy area, which wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it was, let's just say, not maintained. So if you're not even a little bit adventurous, I wouldn't attempt it, but it wasn't bad. Looks like we got a pipeline here we're crossing over. Going into the woods more. Kind of possibly getting away from the swamp. A little bit more drier land. But the trails are still blazed with that orange blaze, so just keep on following the orange blazes and the arrows there. Beautiful day for a hike. So just when I thought we were going kind of more into the woods, the trail rounded back out. towards the lake and the marsh and floodplains of the lake. But everything's pretty well orange blazed. Sometimes they're a little bit far between each other, but they're there. Some down trees here and there. Some of them you gotta cross over. Some little small creeks you gotta cross over. Here it is out in the middle of the woods. Here's a bridge. Pretty substantial bridge. It's kind of interesting. Kind of wonder how they got it out here. I guess they might have floated it in here. I don't know. This is pretty. Hope this isn't the bridge they're talking about being out, because I'm fixing to cross it. Well, if this ain't sketchy, I don't know what is. Let's see if I can get across this without going for a bath. So I guess I'm at the end of the trail. I don't really know. I just came from that way. There is a trail marker that pointing me to go back the way I came. There's nothing that I see in here as far as trail-wise going. There's down trees through there. There's a little bit of a trail there, but it's from that down tree, there's limbs and sticks and all kinds of stuff that I don't feel like traversing. So I'm not sure how long I've been on the trail, but we're going to call this the end. I guess we're going to head back. It's quite unfortunate. I wish I was kind of see where the bridge was out, but it is what it is. And we're just going to end the trail here and go back this way. You can see there's tape there, and that's the way we came. Kind of loops back around back that way. There's a trailer here, but it just goes out to the water. Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. There's another trail marker there. So let's go this way. And let's just see. Yeah, there's a big tree down right here. I don't know. Let me see if I can get through this brush right here, and let's see what's through there. Okay, so crossed over that tree. We're actually next to it through some downfall. Kind of blazed my own little trail. Pick back up on the trail again. So interesting. I got water to my left, and I got swamp to my right. This is probably where the bridge is going to be at, probably at the end of this peninsula, I'm guessing. So we'll see here in just a few minutes, I guess. We'll see what happens. And it looks like I was correct. Not too far down. Here we come to the bridge that is out. It's quite unfortunate. I will not be crossing that at all. But you could come from the other side. See if I can zoom in a little bit. And right over there you can see the trail goes through that way. So on the other side of where I'm camping at, crossing that part of the lake, is where this trail ends up at. So if you want to do the full trail, I guess you start over there and come to that point over there and turn around and go back. But yeah, here's the bridge that's out. It's seen its better days. So we're just going to turn back around. And we're going to head back to the car, then go to camp. Prop my feet up. Enjoy the rest of my afternoon. Overall, pretty interesting trail. Gotta be a little bit adventurous. It's maintained as far as markers and such. There is some areas where downfall, trees that come down, but I enjoyed it. I like these trails like this. Has a little bit of adventure, a little bit of bushwhacking here and there. There's some muddy parts, some dry parts, some interesting parts, let's just say. Probably better off in the summertime when it's drier, I guess you could say. I wouldn't consider this really a nature trail. People thinking, oh, it's just a little nature trail. No, it's really not a nature trail. It's more of a hiking trail, so you definitely want to have some good shoes. Maybe some waterproof shoes or water-resistant shoes. But here you can see the backside of that blowdown that I came through, and actually went up that way and around, and this is that tree that was falling down. So I'm gonna get through all this and hike back another 1.5 miles to the car and head back to camp. Just literally walked past that one right there. Right there. There's another water moccasin. You can see his head. It's about a good 2 foot at least. Just hanging out. Right next to the trail. Trail's there. He's right there. Definitely gotta be careful out here. So if you remember earlier, when we were on that long bridge or pier, how you want to say it, off to the right was that older one that was kind of lower to the ground. Well, this is where we're at now. It wasn't blocked off or marked, you know, do not enter, so, and you can tell people have been on it because the leaves are roughed away in places. So a little garter snake just right there. I don't know if you saw that, but just kind of taking my time out here on this because you can tell it's got its ups and downs. See where this takes us to. It doesn't take us very far because just up here you can see looks like the floodwaters mangled this thing up pretty good, so it's quite unfortunate. But you can see off through the woods there, looks like an old roller coaster. So that was a nutria rat. They were brought over in the 1700s or 1800s, if I'm not mistaken, by the French into Louisiana, New Orleans, that sort of thing. Now, if you see all this grass that's all beat up down here, that is from probably that one nutria rat. They the French brought them over for their pelts and fur, trying to sell them, but they got loose, or not sure how they got out, let's just say. But they are actually kind of detrimental to the environment. As you can see, they eat all the plants, kills them off, and that in turn basically takes away the marshland. Yeah, they're not real good for the ecosystem, but pretty cool thing to see. I'm probably 2 hours from New Orleans, a little over 2 hours, something like that. But yeah, pretty cool. Wasn't expecting to see a nutria rat. I was more expecting to see maybe a beaver when I first saw it. I saw the bushes moving a little bit, the grass moving, and I kind of hung out for a little bit and see what it was. It had its back to me. I thought, oh, cool, beaver. Well, no, wasn't a beaver. It was a nutria rat. So, seen snakes and nutria rats, all kinds of things here. So, yeah, pretty enjoyable hike. I'm just about done here. Almost to the car. Alright, so I've been back at camp here for a couple hours, just been relaxing. It's about dinner time, so got some water heating up. I have the Knorr butter fettuccine, and I got this at Walmart. It's a shrimp scampi, garlic butter, peeled vein. It's just about unfrozen now. It's still cold in the cooler, so just throw them in the skillet there, heat them up about 7-8 minutes, and I'm gonna mix them up with my noodles and give that a shot and see how it goes. Watch out, Gordon Ramsay. I'll show you how to cook. Well, I got a pretty good fire going. Seems a little bit cooler than it was last night, but dinner was pretty good. I was impressed with it. I think next time I'm not going to use the Knorr noodles. Just going to use some basic noodles with no added seasoning that the Knorr packets do. But overall, it was pretty good. So I'm going to let this fire burn down about an hour or so. And I think I'm going to hit the hay. Well, good morning. It's about 6:30 and about 41, 42, 43 degrees, I think it is. It's a lot colder than it was expected to be, so I'm going to hang out here in the sleeping bag for just a little bit longer, wait for the sun to come up, and then we'll get some breakfast going and break down camp. Well, I got some water going, getting warmed up, and this coffee is going to be the Folgers Classic Roast. It's these little tea bags. It's not the best coffee, it's not the worst coffee, but it's coffee. We got camp all packed up and cleaned up, ready for the next camper. It's a little bit cleaner than I found it. And I left some firewood. Should enjoy that. Really enjoyed my time here. Probably my second favorite Mississippi State Park, next to Tishomingo. That park's gonna be hard to beat, but yeah, had a really good time here. I think I'm going to start doing my state park trips for 2 days. Get to enjoy the parks a whole lot more than just one day. So hopefully that'll work out. But anyways, appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you next time.